Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
Affordable Care Act.
And why is that?
Well, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Obama, so I don't support him in the Obama things that he's got going on. I'm actually really excited for President-elect Donald Trump, so.
Right. So you don't like anything Obama does, and you prefer the Affordable Care Act?
Absolutely.
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I support Obamacare.
So if you were a senator and you could vote today, you would vote to keep Obamacare instead of the Affordable Care Act?
Yes.
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I guess the Affordable Care Act?
And why do you prefer the Affordable Care Act over Obamacare?
I'm not really sure. My girlfriend supports Trump, so I go with whatever she says.
What is the main difference between Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act?
One is you pay, and then the other one is Obama pays for you.
Right, Obama pays, pretty big difference.
Pretty big difference.
What makes Obamacare better than the Affordable Care Act?
It's more affordable for the less fortunate, I'd say.
So Obamacare is more affordable than the Affordable Care Act?
I'd say it is. Yeah.
I believe that Obamacare, the premiums are too high, so people end up paying more.
Right.
So I believe in the Affordable Care Act.
And so the Affordable Care Act is more affordable than Obamacare?
Right, correct.
Right.
Which is obvious based on the name.
It's in the name, right.
Right.
Why do you like the Affordable Care Act more than Obamacare?
Because I don't like Obama.
But you like the Affordable Care Act?
Yeah.
What if I told you Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same thing? We're talking about health care with people out here today.
Tight.
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I'm kind of like... Can you repeat the question?
Sure, yeah. With health care, do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act when it comes to health care?
I guess... Obama's pretty tight, so I guess I'd probably go with Obama.
Sure.
Yeah.
How stoned are you right now?
Pretty stoned.
Right. And which plan do you support, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
The Affordable Care Act.
And what is it about Obamacare that you do not like?
I just think that there's a lot of holes in it, and it needs to be revamped. I think
And you think
hasn't been thought out.
You think the Affordable Care Act is a better plan than Obamacare?
Better, but I'm not happy with that either.
What do you agree with, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I'm more sort of towards the Affordable Care Act, but I'm also very sympathetic for people that don't have the ability to have proper medical insurance.
So the Affordable Health Care Act is still a better option than
Yes.
Obamacare?
Yes.
And why do you not agree with the Affordable Care Act?
Well, I think it's not really available for all.
So the Affordable Care Act is more affordable than Obamacare?
Just the name says it all.
Right. You would agree with the Affordable Care Act?
Absolutely. I think it's nice that everyone can afford it, and everyone should be able to afford it, but to force people to pay something and then doctors to make something, limiting their ability to do their job, that's kind of anti-American.
Right. So Obamacare is un-American?
I think it's kind of un-American to force people. What if they can't afford it? What if they want more coverage?
And the Affordable Care Act is American?
I think it's more American because it allows people to make their own choices on what they want and who they want to work with.
Do you agree with the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare?
The affordable.
And why do you prefer the Affordable Care Act over Obamacare?
I just don't agree with the whole Obamacare policy thing that's going on. I just don't agree with it.
And do you believe that an informed citizenry is essential to a democracy?
Yes.
So you disagree with Obamacare?
Yes, I do.
Do you think insurance companies should be able to exclude people with pre-existing conditions?
No.
Do you agree that young people should be able to stay on their parents' plans until they are 26?
They should be able to, yes.
Do you agree that companies with 50 or more employees should provide health care?
I do.
And so, by that logic, you would be for the Affordable Care Act?
Yes.
What plan do you support, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
The Affordable Care Act.
And why do you support that over Obamacare?
Do not like Obamacare. I don't like anything that has to be forced for everybody to buy. It's just not good.
Do you think Obamacare is socialist?
Yes, I do.
Do you think the Affordable Care Act is socialist?
No.
Do you believe that Obamacare will eventually lead to gun prohibition?
Yes.
Do you know that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same thing?
Maybe they just shouldn't have named it Obamacare. Back in the day, Donald Trump said, Obamacare is horrible. We need to replace it, and if we just elect him, he'll take care of that.
Obamacare was lousy health care, and we are working on things. We're going to do it, and we're going to replace it.
You still do not have a plan.
I have concepts of a plan.
He has no plan to replace it.
If you guys give me the job, then you'll get the plan.
You could just be saying it to get the job.
Who would do that?
Obamacare stinks.
Do you have an actual plan?
We have concepts of a plan. I am the one that saved Obamacare.
He thought it was worth saving and wants to take credit for it.
And I did the right thing.
By saving Obamacare, which he did not do, but that's beside the point. By saving Obamacare.
Will people with pre-existing conditions still have coverage?
December 2024.
And can you guarantee their prices will not go up?
The answer is yes. They'll have coverage. You have to have it.
Not sure how cutting off benefits and starving children is part of that process.
I want to have better health care for less money. And if they come up with something, I will present it.
I heard it too. That was kind of big. We'll get back to that one. Today, Donald Trump is saying Obamacare is horrible. We should replace it. Just end the shutdown and he'll take care of that.
Obamacare is terrible. We should fix that.
Your plan is tell the Democrats to vote to end the shutdown.
Correct. Very simple.
And that you will put forward a health care plan?
No. We will work on fixing the bad health care that we have.
Starting now?
I've been talking about it for a long time.
Talking about it, not doing anything, but a lot of talking.
The problem is they want to give money to prisoners, to drug dealers, to all these millions of people that were allowed to come in.
So MAGA, you can see where it would be really helpful for him to have a plan that he presented to show how he would do it differently. We can agree on that, right?
3/4 of these people will see their healthcare premiums double.
I'm not going to do it by being extorted by the Democrats who have lost their way.
Yeah, clearly they're the problem. So in December of 2024, he made it perfectly clear that if they came up with something better, they would present it.
If we come up with a better answer, I would present that answer to Democrats.
He doesn't have anything better. So shut the fuck up.
He said concepts.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Wait a second. You mean Obamacare is the AC? So all this time you have been cheering for one and hating another? And now both are gone. MAGA folks are losing their health care and losing their minds. Let's watch the video. Remember, the credit goes to the director of the video. I'll be back.
So we officially changed the name of the Affordable Care Act to Obamacare again. Like, I always thought it was the Affordable Care Act and people just called it Obamacare. So now, like, told reporters after the meeting that Republicans absolutely need to deliver on Obamacare, formerly known as the Affordable Care Act. I'm so confused. So, first of all, I was watching Fox News on my lunch because everybody on here says I need to watch Fox News. That's the only reliable source. And our glorious commander-in-chief had mentioned, about illegal immigrants getting Medicaid, Medicare, how we're paying for all this health insurance from people who aren't American citizens. And the only immigrants who get any of that, there's very strict criteria. You have to have been here working a certain amount of time to get Medicare. For Medicaid, in most states, anyone who's here illegally doesn't qualify for it, first of all. Second, how many actual Americans qualify or benefit from the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act? Like, I was looking on here and okay, I chat GPT'd it. My daughter's going to yell at me for saying that. There's I think it's 28 million Americans, maybe it was more. I don't even know anymore. I haven't had enough caffeine. That talked about how many people benefit from the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act. That's a huge number of people here in this country, and the vast majority of them are American citizens that are benefiting from this. So what are your thoughts? Do you think the Affordable Care Act should go away? Do you think we should not help people get medical insurance? And a lot of these are working individuals who just don't get it through their employer. I had a mom in my office today who they had insurance through the Affordable Care Act through the marketplace, and they paid a fortune for it. And her husband had a part-time job, was looking for a full-time job, and had been struggling. And that was why they went through the marketplace to get this. But do you think we should get rid of the Affordable Care Act completely and just say, pew, I'm a hippie, and I think everyone should have food, education, and medical health, like affordable health care. But that's because I'm a hippie. I want to know what you think. But seriously, when did we change from the Affordable Care Act to Obamacare?
The government shutdown continues, and the main sticking point appears to be Obamacare. So I have spent the morning trying to educate myself about what's going on with Obamacare and the shutdown. This is what I've discovered. Obamacare was enacted back in 2010, and it was originally intended to provide some measure of health insurance for people at 400% of the federal poverty level and lower. It is funded by a basic tax credit, and that tax credit is permanent, meaning that Congress doesn't have to reauthorize it on a routine basis. Then, in 2021, Congress approved something called the Enhanced Tax Credit. And what this tax credit did was it greatly expanded the number of people who can participate in Obamacare, people who make more money, and it lowered premiums. The enhanced tax credit does have to be reauthorized by Congress on a routine basis. And that's the sticking point. The Republicans don't want to reauthorize the enhanced tax credit. In fact, in their latest budget, they don't have any money for the enhanced tax credit. The Democrats are saying, well, now hold on. Since we enacted this back in 2021, a lot more people have joined Obamacare. In fact, about 45 million Americans now get their health insurance coverage through Obamacare. And if we don't pass this enhanced tax credit, a lot of people are going to suffer. About 22 million will either pay astronomically higher health care premiums, or they could lose their health insurance altogether. Those health care premium increases are pretty eye-watering. For instance, a family of 4 living in Maine with an annual income of $130,000 would have to pay $16,100 more per year for their health insurance than they have been. A 60-year-old couple living in Maryland would have to pay over $13,000 more than what they're paying right now. In Nevada, that same couple would have to pay over $18,000 more than what they're paying now. And in Kentucky, an unbelievable $23,700 more than what they're paying now. And that's where we're at. The Republicans seem hell-bent on getting rid of the enhanced tax credit, and the Democrats seem hell-bent on not having some of you pay an extra $24,000 a year for your health insurance coverage. I will let you decide who the bad guys are, but I think it's pretty obvious.
Did you catch our shithead president on 60 Minutes? How stupid does he think we are? There he was again, going on about Obamacare being terrible and that the government shutdowns because of the Democrats. And when it was pointed out that the Democrats are trying to protect the health care for tens of millions of Americans, he said, no, they have to just open up the government and then replace the Obamacare, which he says is just awful, replace it with something much better. Hey, you piece of shit. You've been telling us that for 10 freaking years. 10 years. Have you come up with any details, any specifics? No, the answer is no. Not one specific thing to make healthcare better for Americans. You got the balls to go on national television and complain about the Democrats trying to save healthcare for tens of millions of Americans, and you're doing nothing but making stupid promises, the same stupid promises you've been making for a decade. Hey, you piece of walking excrement, you need to shut up until you come up with something intelligent, and that's probably never going to happen.
What kind of cowards sets up a meeting at 1 a.m. in the morning to debate a budget bill so that the American people can't hear the debate, so that news organizations would be less likely to cover the budget bill? What kind of cowards set a meeting at 1 a.m.? I'll tell you what kind of cowards. Republican MAGA cowards. No one sets up a meeting at 1 a.m. to debate a bill. No one does it. And before you say, oh, the Democrats did it in the past, fine. If they did, send me proof. I'll make a fucking video about it. What kind of cowards sets up a meeting at 1 a.m. to debate $698 billion cuts to Medicaid, $500 billion cuts to Medicare, $267 billion cuts to SNAP? The budget bill also increases the federal deficit by $3.8 trillion with a T, $3.8 trillion. Didn't Supreme Leader Trump say he was going to cut the deficit The bill adds $3.8 trillion to the deficit. Over 14 million people will lose health insurance. And that's on the low side of the estimate. The low side of the estimate. And we're talking about children, people's grandparents, people's parents. The cowards set a meeting at 1 a.m. so the American people can't hear what's going on, and they can't complain, and they can't make phone calls. The MAGA Republicans don't care about you. They don't care about poor people. They don't care about people who are on Medicaid and Medicare and who need food stamps. They don't care about children dying because they're going to be kicked off of their health insurance. They don't care about you. When are you going to realize they don't care about you? Oh, but they're just going to cut Medicaid and Medicare for undocumented immigrants. Guess what? Not a single undocumented immigrant received a dime of your federal tax money for comprehensive Medicaid health care. Not a dime. The Republican Party, especially the MAGAs, are cowards. They did this in the dark of night, thinking that it wouldn't get a lot of news coverage. Well, guess what? It did. They did it in the dark of night so the American people could not listen. But guess what? People like me, I listened, and there was a lot of people who listened, and we're trying to spread the word. If this affects you or somebody you love in any way, your grandparent, your children, a friend, a neighbor, if this affects you in any way, you need to immediately get on the phone right now. Call every senator, every congressman you know. Leave them a voicemail. Tag them on social media. If any of these cuts are going to affect anybody you know, I don't care if you voted for Trump. I don't care if you voted for Mars. You need to get on the phone right now, tonight. Don't wait till tomorrow, because they could pass this thing. They could pass this thing in the dark of night tonight. I said it before and I'll say it again. The Republican MAGA Party are cowards for setting a meeting at 1 a.m. so that the American public could not see and comprehend what was going on in the middle of the night last night. Fucking cowards.
Okay, guys, you know what's weird? For years, so many MAGA's voters said they hated Obamacare. They wanted it gone. But when they found out the Affordable Care Act was the same things, the shock hit them harder. They didn't realize they were voting to cut off their own health insurance. Guys, imagine just voting against yourself, voting to cut this system or these things which are helping yourself, and then at the end of the day you're coming to see you the one who are regretting. Let's continue to watch the clip.
An unemployed Trump voter who said they voted for Trump because he promised to kill Obamacare, but says he hopes Trump keeps his hands off the Affordable Care Act, which he relies upon. Obamacare is the Affordable Care Act. Here's what this guy wrote online. He wrote the following, quote, "I just voted for him because he's going to kill Obamacare. I am unemployed and Obamacare effing sucks. I'd rather just have the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, by itself instead of this communism shit." And then someone responded to him by saying, "Obamacare is the ACA. It is literally keeping you alive. You voted to take away your health care." And then the original poster wrote back, quote, "Why the F do people have two different names for it? Obama equals bad and affordable equals good. I effing hate Democrats." Well, if you remember, it was the Republicans who branded it as Obamacare originally to try to scare people like you. Maybe your hate should be directed at those trying to...
You're right. It is the Democrats' fault that the government is shut down right now. Oh my gosh, the Affordable Care Act tax subsidies were totally brought in under Obamacare. Oh my goodness. What are we going to do about it? Okay, well, what is the Republican solution? You know, they do control all three branches of government in this current moment, right? Okay, so what they're proposing to extend the tax subsidies through the end of 2026? And then what happens? We have a whole other government shutdown all over this again, one more time, in like a few months? Interesting. Okay, right. Or we could just decide to vote into law permanently that people that are under a certain income level, poverty level wages in America can get cheap healthcare, cheap and affordable healthcare for all citizens. That sounds pretty darn good to me, because guess what? Strangely enough, a lot of those red states, a lot of those MAGA Trump voter red states, yeah, they fit that criteria. So we're really doing the MAGA folks a big favor here, giving you some tax subsidies on your low income Affordable Care Act tax credits. Okay, yeah. Just making sure you can get Mima to the hospital, okay, and not have to pay $10,000 fucking dollars for your medical bill. But it's okay. You're billionaire apologists because you love billionaires because they're successful businessmen, right? Yeah, even though they rape children. Oh, did I say that out loud? Yeah, oops. Okay, right, Epstein list, blah, blah, blah. Have a great night.
No, but I do think we need to have a serious conversation about this whole Obamacare bad but Affordable Care Act good thing. Instead of mocking the people who think that, let's talk about what it actually shows us, because I think that's important, and it's going to be so important moving forward for the next 4 years. The right wing is and has always been excellent with their marketing. They have drilled it into people that Obamacare is bad, that anything associated with Obama is bad, but it works. People say they hate Obamacare, but then you've got all these individuals saying, oh, but I hope they don't take away my Affordable Care Act. And we've known this for quite some time now, actually, because they've done, surveys and studies that show when you ask, how do you feel about Obamacare, people respond negatively. But when you break it down and ask people how they feel about the individual components of the Affordable Care Act, there's like a 70 or 80% approval. And we see the same thing in Florida too. What was it, only 2 years ago, where Florida passed a higher minimum wage, but voted for all Republicans. And we saw it again this year too. Florida, it didn't pass, but 57% of people voted in favor of keeping abortion access. In Florida, that's crazy. And again, it didn't pass because the Republicans who are in charge know that something like that is actually pretty favorable, so they set the bar at 60%, not just 50% the majority like almost every other state. And I'm just like begging the Democratic establishment to recognize that they think their problem is that they're not center enough. They need to go more moderate, more centrist. But their actual problem is that they're just really bad at marketing. They are out of touch with the general population. And quite honestly, a lot of you are out of touch too. Like, let's stop grammar shaming people that voted for Trump and then being shocked when the right wing has it out for the left. Like, nobody cares how you're spelling there. You know what they're trying to say. But anyway, I just really hope that the Democratic establishment recognizes people want progressive ideas. It just needs to be palatable to the general population. We need to do a better job of making the information digestible. Like, maybe instead of spending the next 4 years finding the most moderate, basic white man you can, invest in like a PR firm. What's Molly McPherson doing for the next 4 years? And I understand that we are all upset and frustrated and anxious and scared about what the next 4 years are going to look like. I am too. But shaming people isn't going to help the situation. That's not going to bring them into the fold. It's just going to exile them from us even more. For anyone that's been paying attention seriously, it feels very much like Republicans have been playing chess for the last 4 years, and Democrats are like just now opening up a checkers box. And I don't know, maybe the best use of our time over the next 4 years is to learn how to play chess.
Okay, guys, let's talk deeper. At the end of the day, this whole Obamacare versus ACA story shows how deep the confusion has gone. Some MAGA voters thought they were fighting against something that was actually helping them. They didn't know Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act were the same law. One just had a different name. And now, after all the shouting, all the anger, and all the repeal its talk, they are the ones who lose affordable coverage. The politician they trusted didn't lose anything. Now you see, their family still have health care. It's regularly people who suffer when truth gets twisted. This should be a moment to open eyes, because no matter no matter your politics, healthcare is human need, not a pity issue. Maybe next time they will read what they are voting for before they cheer for cut. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If it's your first time, remember to subscribe. Put your comments in the comment section. Really, I need your thoughts because you are helping me a lot. And at the end of the day, this content is for education purpose. I said again, really, for the viewers, thank you very much. See you for the next video.